quickly stifled it. It's just nature. Let it be. Let it be. Michael took the lead, his footing sure and confident. He must have noticed my unsteady gait next to him as he suddenly veered towards a clearer path I could easily follow. I didn't verbalize it, but I was definitely grateful for that. As much as the forest was growing on me, getting my feet caught in roots and twigs every few steps gets tiring after a while. Our steps fell into rhythm next to each other. I peeked at Michael once in every while, trying to gauge his mood after what happened. Even after spending so much time with him, he was so difficult to read. How can someone both wear their heart on their sleeve, yet keep it stitched tight, never letting anyone come too close? I knew he had secrets he wanted to keep close to his chest, but I wish he'd just open up to me a little. The silence that hung in the air was making my skin prickle. What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite animal? I was so caught up in my thoughts, I didn't realize I blurted the first thing that came to mind. Michael regarded me curiously, ear flicking. My favorite animal? He pursed his lips in thought before his ears perked. Jellyfish. Oh, okay, I was not expecting that. It was one thing for him to answer so readily, but the choice was something else. A jelly? Why a jellyfish? I thought it'd be, I don't know, a bird or something. He shrugged. They're pretty to look at least from the pictures I've seen. Plus, I kind of relate to them. He said that without zero hesitation. What does that mean? I relate to jellyfish? It's kind of cute of him, not gonna lie. How exactly do you relate to a jellyfish? Kawaii na. His expression faltered, as if deciding on the right way he could explain his answer. Let's just say I have something in common with a jellyfish. Well, one jellyfish. In what way? That they're pretty to look at? A strangled noise slipped past his throat. No! You wouldn't get it. Try me. No. I groaned like a dying whale in exasperation. Shoulders slumped like I had a back problem. He's not gonna elaborate anymore, is he? He probably spotted the vein growing in my forehead as he snickered. Relax, Firefly. You're gonna faint on the spot if you think any harder. Yeah, well, it'll be your fault. His mouth dropped for a second before his cheeky grin returned. Touch. Touch? Touch what? You know, touch. I stared at him, his happy grin shifting into a confused frown. You know, touch. And, like, thing, you're right. You mean touche? He smiled innocently. Yeah. This man will be the death of me. He laughed at my screwed up grimace, waving a hand hastily. What about you? What's your favorite animal? Your chickens will be funny. He looked taken aback, clearly not expecting that answer. Really? Yeah. Who wouldn't fall in love with the little darlings? He seemed pleased with the answer, his already white smile softening further. You're right. Who wouldn't fall in love with a little darling? We continued idle chatter late after that. Oh my god. I didn't even know how much time passed as the trees slowly thinned out, the sounds of nature muffling as the canopy started to grow scarce. Suddenly, I heard the soft yet familiar rumble of a car in the distance. I almost didn't pick up on it fully. I almost didn't pick up on it. Fully immersed in whatever Michael was rambling about. Something about the life cycle of a topsy-turvy dorny or whatever it was he called it. Oh, had we really walked that far already? I left Michael's side and rushed forward. He made a sound of surprise, but followed suit. I neared the edge of the forest, just as another car drove past. I recognized my street instantly, breaking into a light jog. I almost missed Michael calling for my name as I ran down the road. There! My house was visible from where I stood by the street. I was breathing heavily by the time Michael approached my side, the man barely making a sound as I took in the sight. Oh, I missed it. I turned to I oh, I turned to thank Michael, only startled when a bundled stranger took his place. Ah, sorry. People about. I couldn't see anyone around, but I guess it was right to be safe. I guess this was his version of a disguise. If I were to pass him on the street, I don't think I would have bothered to look twice. I mean, I'd want to say thank you to your face, but I'll settle for this, I guess. His chuckle was muffled underneath the scarf. He pulled down the scarf so he can speak properly. Did I scare you? I got distracted. Michael's eyes squinted from where I could see them. And I wonder how you don't get lost every 20 steps. Hey. He laughed at my offended tone. You better not go back in there, got it? I'm not always gonna be around to find you. Who says I need you around to find me? Almost instantly, his eyes hardened under his sunglasses. I'm serious. Don't go wandering around these woods again. Or might have to start taking drastic measures to make sure you stay put right where you are. I sputtered indignantly. I'll wander wherever I please. Sure. He looked over my shoulder to towards my house. So that's where you live, huh? Looks cozy. I wasn't sure if he was being genuine considering he lived in a wooden back ends in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, I perked up with a thought. You want to come by? His eyes darted towards me, shock evident on his face. Me? To your home? I nodded. He froze completely. For a second, I thought he stopped breathing. I left. Sudden barking and a shout startled us close, my body jerking forward as he yanked my arm close. I heard a soft rustle as his sunglasses fell to the grass from the sudden motion, his hastily worn beanie shaken off his head. Looking up, it was just my neighbor calling to their dog. Oh, looks like Vita's back from college. I paused, feeling his grip tighten. I looked down at his hand before. Michael? He snapped back to the present, hand releasing me quickly. Sorry. I don't think it's a good idea. Michael! I don't want to be seen. I deflated just a little. But you have your disguise, don't you? He shook his head insistently. I can't risk it. It's better this way. He spoke with a finality that was starting to become familiar. If he wasn't willing, fine. At least I was. Before he could pick up his accessories, I gently grabbed his wrist. Then can I come visit you instead? What? I huffed impatiently. If you won't come to mine, then I'll go to yours. Once again, he was rendered speechless. Why would you ever want to see me again? At this point, I was starting to look and sound peeved. For all his good traits, the constant need to build his walls higher around me was starting to get annoying. It really is. I folded my arms, looking stern. His eyes widened as if in preparation, his ears flattening like a cat in the middle of scolding. Michael, can you just accept the fact that maybe I enjoy your company and wouldn't mind more? Sorry, nobody's ever... But you wanted to go home so badly. Oh, this man is hopeless. Yes, of course I do. But that doesn't mean I'm going to forget you completely. Besides, I promised you how... Promised you... No. Promised I'd show you how phones could do. What phones could do, didn't I? Oh my god, just reading this sentence is dismissing the fact that there's probably not much I can show when there's no data in the woods. I'm sure he'll be enthralled by whatever dingy mobile game I had installed at the time. The point was I just wanted to see him again. So that means I get to see you again? I picked up on the eager tone in his voice, realizing he wished for the same sentiment. Yeah, I want to. His voice warbled for a second. Firefly. He cleared his throat, laughing to himself. Yin, you can't imagine how much that means to me. A lot. It means a lot. More than you know. I nodded, a giddy smile creeping onto my face. How's next weekend? He tilted his head. That's 7 sundowns from now? 5. His smile widened, eyes squinting in absolute delight. Okay, I'll meet you here then. I smiled at him, figuring this was goodbye. Give him a little hug. I didn't think twice. Arms spread and wrapped around him before he could react. Michael froze from head to toe, inhaling sharply as his shoulder tensed. For a second I thought I triggered a fight or flight response. Took a few seconds before he shifted to reciprocate, lightly placing his hands on me, on the small of my back, in a loose hold, fingertips played awkwardly along my spine. He seemed to gain confidence as he wrapped his arms around me properly, a shaky sigh leaving his body as he relaxed. A faint rhythmic rumble emitted from his chest, my eyes widening at the strange feeling. Was he purring? I knew I heard that sound before, but he's definitely purring. I didn't have time to dwell on it for long. His grip was getting tighter. 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 Okay. Oh. ちょっと読めるのは疲れたんですけど。長いですね、この話。なんか、well, I do not know how to explain that in Japanese, but basically, I feel like, the story is flowing really well, like, still interesting. It doesn't get too rambly with, like, the words. I think, like, the little cute banter between us and Michael it's really enjoyable. But I do feel like the main character feels a bit like the character is kind of like jumping around a bit. Or maybe it's just me. It's like I wouldn't do what the main character does. I looked at him, expecting him to say something first. Instead, he stared at me like I grew a third eye. I quickly cleared my throat, cheeks starting to burn. Anyways. Oh. I gave him one last light punch to the shoulder. It felt like punching a sack of grain. I'll see you next weekend. Ignoring the heat on my face, I looked both ways before jogging across the street. My neighbor in their yard looked up as I approached, eyes lighting up in recognition. Yin? Excuse me. Oh, they're cute too. Their hands fidgeted with the frisbee in their hand as they approached, their ever-loyal Laika following close behind. I was wondering where you've been. I dropped over to give you some cake over the weekend, but you weren't home. And you didn't answer your phone, and your packages were... What the hell? Pulsating. Pulsating. To appease, soothe, or calm someone's anger or frustration, often making concession. Placating. Yep, placating gesture. Placating. なだめるように。なだめるように。Vida, I'm fine. Oh, the doggy! At our feet,